Hello, everyone, and Happy New Year. I'm so glad to be with you again on the show this year. I am Becky Imoisile, the voice of transformation and becoming, and your host on Beyond Words and Becoming with Becky. I am here to walk with you on this journey of rebuilding, realigning, and rising into purpose, not just for motivation, but for lasting transformation. This is where we stop pretending and start becoming everything we were created to be. This is not a perfect space. It is a space for becoming. It is for the woman who knows there is more and is ready to evolve. This is the first episode of this year, and we are beginning a new series titled Becoming, a Journey of Renewal. The first topic in this series is what becoming really means. You may be thinking, but we talked about becoming last year, and you are right, but we are not repeating and we are not starting over. This year, we are going deeper. As I shared in my New Year message, this year is not about rushing. It is about alignment. You can't become by rushing. So we'll treat this topic in three parts, and we'll begin with part one today. Understanding the process, what becoming is and what it isn't. So let's dive in. Many women desire change, but the few understand becoming. So let's talk honestly about this word we use so often. Becoming is not motivation. Motivation may excite you, but it doesn't change you. It doesn't sustain you. This is why many women get inspired for a moment and discourage the next because motivation fades. It wears off when life applies pressure. Becoming is not instant change. We live in a world that celebrates quick success, quick results, fast growth, speed. But God often walks through process. You don't become matured or aligned overnight. Becoming is not pretending that you are strong when you are tired and exhausted, pretending you are okay when you are still hurting. God does not transform what we hide, He transforms what we surrender. So we need to be honest with ourselves before a change can take place. Becoming is not comparison. You cannot measure your journey against someone else's timeline. Comparison creates pressure. Becoming requires peace. So, what does becoming really mean? Becoming is a process, it is a lifelong journey. I know this personally. There was a time in my life when I felt this strong push to grow beyond where I was, to do something impactful. I started my journey of self discovery and transformation, and I felt everything was going to happen suddenly. I wanted the result, I wanted to see the results immediately. I wanted speed, but God wanted roots. God was taking me through a process, and I am still going through that process. He is still forming me. Philippians 1 verse 6 says, He that began a good work in you is faithful to complete it. This tells us that God begins the work and completes it. So the time in between is not failure, it is formation. Becoming begins internally. It begins with the way you think and the way you see yourself, in what you believe about God and about you. Becoming requires alignment. Living in agreement with God's truth, not your fears. Choosing obedience instead of appearance. Becoming is patience with God's work in you. Some seasons are not for visibility, they are for formation. The fact that progress is slow doesn't mean nothing is happening. It means that God is strengthening your foundation. Becoming is intentional, making conscious decisions to begin your journey of self discovery, growth, and transformation. You don't become by accident, you become by intentions. Becoming is the transformation of the mindset, shedding old beliefs, habits, and thoughts, stepping into the unknown. Becoming is not rushed, it is revealed over time. So take a moment to reflect. Where have you been rushing a process that God is still working on? And gently ask yourself, what is stirring within you that is calling you to become? Thank you for staying with me on the show today. Please like, share, and comment. And join me next week as we continue with part 2 of what becoming really means.